When I was looking through my diary this week, I noticed dates are associated with some well-known famous people that have done their duty, served their country well. So as you will see from these pictures, these are just a few. I'm sure there are a lot more, but these are the few that I've selected. Well, our Queen doesn't need any introductions. And I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot more about her during the course of the year. But as we know, on Sunday, this Sunday, the 6th of February, marked her 70 years on the throne. I guess the day was quite poignant for her because that was the day that her father died. So it's sort of mixed blessings. The second picture, I'm sure those who are keen gardeners will recognise, is of Capability Brown and the English landscape gardener. And as we know, that he was born at Kirkharle in Northumberland, and he died on the 6th of February of 1783. So his fame was landscaping the gardens of Europe and, of course, Great Britain. Our third picture, which perhaps those who don't or haven't done medieval history or haven't done it for a long time perhaps won't recognise the photograph, the picture, but that is a picture representing the first English Prince of Wales. And Edward I, King of England, invested his son, Edward, at Carnarvon Castle on the 7th of February, 1301. Our fourth picture, I'm sure you'll recognise this photograph, is naturally of Charles Dickens. And he was born on the 7th of February, 1812. The English writer and social critic, creator of the world's best known fictional characters. What a marvellous person this man was. And when you think a lot of his stories are based on true life events, and I'm sure everyone knows Charles Dickens. And reading up a little bit about it was quite fascinating, was that people, the illiterate people of the time, used to pay a halfpenny in order for someone who could read, to read them the stories. So that's interesting, isn't it? And of course our final picture is of Margaret Thatcher on the 11th of February of 1975. She became the first woman leader of the Conservative Party. So, just a handful of people that through the ages have made their mark and have, in the case of our Queen, still making their mark, doing their duty, whether it be their birthright or by their own merits. And as you will notice, there is just one blank face. And I've done that deliberately, because perhaps you'll know someone who would fit that blank face. Perhaps it could be yourself or someone you know. Of course, today, the notion of duty is often sadly disparaged. But thank goodness we're indebted to millions of people of all walks of life doing different types of work, prepared to do their duty. And I think we'd be in a real pickle if these people didn't do that. And we just have to mention our health service, all those doctors and nurses. But what about all the other people? All the other people that get on and do their work, that keep our day-to-day activities going. So we should be very grateful. And as Christians, the privilege of knowing Jesus brings with it demand of duty. It brings a spiritual duty with regard to God. Paul, as we read, was overwhelmed with the sense of his indebtedness to Jesus, that he spent his life expressing it in his letters. And then, of course, we have our moral duty to our fellow man. And as we say every Sunday, our highest ethical duty is to love God with our heart, our soul, our mind, and our strength. But more importantly, to love our neighbours as ourselves. And as a priest, I have an ecclesiastical duty as I take an oath of canonical obedience, which predates back to the Reformation. But you know, times have changed. The words duty and obey have been replaced by softer words, to serve or to live by. But this meaning hasn't changed. Unfortunately, sadly, people are probably more demonstrative now, more vocal. And as Paul said in his letters to the Philippians, do all things without grumbling or disputing. Well, never a truer word said in our present times. And we'll go back to our Queen. We just have to look at her. A devout Christian who has diligently done her duty. There's always a smile, always a kind gesture in everything and everyone she meets. And she keeps her grumblings to herself. They are strictly private. And I don't know about you, but boy, she must have some grumblings. So Lord, we give thanks for all who enrich our lives by their talent and their care. God bless.